Hi there. I'm your quizmaster, Alicia, and I have another 100 questions for you. Grab a pen, keep score, and see how many you can nail. Welcome to quiz time. Where is the shortest international border in the world? Between Spain and Morocco? Between Monaco and France? Between Botswana and Zambia? Between Spain and Morocco. What did a Great Dane do that helped save London during World War II? Warned of incoming rockets, detected unexploded landmines, peed on a bomb. Peed on a bomb. Half of the world's oxygen comes from where? Freshwater lakes, the ocean, the forest. The ocean. What color ink did Pablo Neruda write in? Green, blue, red, green. Who drew the rose sketch used in the movie Titanic? A professional sketch artist? James Cameron? Leonardo DiCaprio? James Cameron. What type of dance is Mick Jagger trained in? Jazz, ballet, jazz, tap, ballet, ballet. How many double stitches does a baseball have? 108, 206, 80. 108. The Mona Lisa has no what? Nose, jewelry, eyebrows, eyebrows. The @ symbol predates email by how many years? About 500, about 300 years, about 200 years. About 500 years. What were lobsters once considered? Poor people's food, a bad omen, medicine ingredient? Poor people's food. Where is the 2025 World Expo taking place? Japan, China, South Korea, Japan. What is the longest word in English without repeating letters? Hydropneumatically, ambidextrously, uncopyrightable, uncopyrightable. How many rooms does the White House have? 155, 120, 132, 132. Why could Saturn possibly float in water? Because of its density, because of its rapid rotation, because of its gaseous composition, because of its density. How many bones are in the human hand? 20, 27, 30, 27. What was the most expensive music video ever made? Express Yourself by Madonna, Formation by Beyoncé, Scream by Michael Jackson. Scream by Michael Jackson. What is the name of the blue bird in the Twitter logo? Frank, Tweety, Larry, Larry. What is the world's most visited country? Spain, France, USA, France. Where is the underwater post office located? Vanuatu, Maldives, Great Barrier Reef, Vanuatu. What disability do kiwi birds have? Mostly blind, color blindness, deafness, mostly blind. What animals are 30 times more likely to be struck by lightning than humans? Ostriches, elephants, giraffes, giraffes. What airline has the world's longest commercial flight? Emirates, Dubai to Auckland, Qantas, Perth to London, Singapore Airlines, New York to Singapore, Singapore Airlines, New York to Singapore. Why is there fog in Silent Hill? A technical limitation workaround, a Japanese horror tradition, to create psychological tension, a technical limitation workaround. Who sang the McDonald's "I'm Loving It" jingle? Pharrell Williams, Robin Thicke, Justin Timberlake, Justin Timberlake. What can't you do at the same time because of your epiglottis? Swallow and breathe, sneeze and keep eyes open, talk and swallow, swallow and breathe. Why do stars shine? Plasma, gas, nuclear fusion, nuclear fusion. What are Canada's two official languages? English and French, English and Quebec French, British English and Canadian French, English and French. The word alphabet comes from where? First two letters of the Greek alphabet, Latin alphabetum, Arabic alphab. First two letters of the Greek alphabet. How many 1-liter bottles does one cow produce enough methane daily to fill? 400 to 500, 800, 100, 400 to 500. What type of eclipse occurred on March 29, 2025? Annular solar eclipse, a partial solar eclipse, total lunar eclipse, A partial solar eclipse. Avocados are toxic to what animals? Hamsters, guinea pigs, birds, birds. Who invented the world's first smartphone? IBM, Motorola, Nokia, IBM. What was Picasso's first word? Azul, peace, papa, peace. In what year did the Boston Marathon first allow women to compete? 1975, 1967, 1972, 1972. What is Axl Rose's real name? Anthony Xavier Rose, Alexander Ross, William Bruce Rose Jr., William Bruce Rose Jr. What was the first film to show a toilet flushing on screen? The Apartment, Some Like It Hot, Psycho, Psycho. What type of animal did Lord Byron have at college? Bear, bird, monkey, bear. Stomach acid is so strong that it can dissolve what? Plastic, razor blades, bone, razor blades. Which two U.S. presidents died on the same day? Abraham Lincoln and Andrew Johnson, Franklin Roosevelt and Harry Truman, John Adams and Thomas Jefferson, John Adams and Thomas Jefferson. How many enclaves is the Netherlands-Belgium border made of? 22, 14, 40, 22. What part of Minnesota only has land that can be accessed through Canada? Northeast angle, upper north, northwest angle, northwest angle. What type of championship did Abraham Lincoln win before becoming president? Boxing, track, wrestling, wrestling. What could you make a diamond out of? Baking soda, butter, peanut butter, peanut butter. What body part does your brain ignore? Ears, nose, mouth, nose. Who was the character Chewbacca inspired by? Harrison Ford's cat, George Lucas's dog, a comic book character, George Lucas's dog. In which book did Sherlock say, "Elementary, my dear Watson"? First book? Last book? None. None. At what age did Mozart write his first symphony? 8, 9, 12, 8. How much must a regulation bowling pin weigh? Between 3 pounds 6 ounces and 3 pounds 10 ounces, between 4 pounds 6 ounces and 5 pounds 10 ounces, between 2 pounds 6 ounces and 3 pounds 10 ounces. Between 3 pounds 6 ounces and 3 pounds 10 ounces. Who shot Andy Warhol? A masked shooter, the police, Valerie Solanas, Valerie Solanas. How can the word typewriter be typed on a keyboard? Using only the bottom row of keys, using only the middle row of keys, using only the top row of keys, using only the top row of keys. How much does a single thread of saffron weigh? 2.16 milligrams, 5.2 milligrams, 3.8 milligrams, 2.16 milligrams. On what date will the 2025 winter solstice occur? December 22, December 19, December 21, December 19. What mammals can regrow lost limbs and grow new ones? None. Star-nosed moles. Bats. None. What is the longest English word with only one vowel? Rhythms, crypts, strengths, strengths. What year did Switzerland join the UN? 2001, 2002, 2003, 2002. The moon moves away from the Earth how much per year? 2.1 centimeters, 1.2 centimeters, 1.5 inches. 1.5 inches. What organ can regenerate itself completely? Kidney, spleen, liver, liver. Who gave the shortest Oscar acceptance speech ever? Louis Sahoyas, Patty Duke, Joe Pesci, Patty Duke. What type of money is printed more than real money? Casino chips, Monopoly money, movie prop money. Monopoly money. In what country is the world's only 7-star hotel? Qatar, Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates, United Arab Emirates. How many years old is the oldest piece of cake? 3,800 years old, 5,100 years old, 4,200 years old, 4,200 years old. Gross. How many islands does Japan have? Over 14,000 islands, over 12,000 islands, over 13,000 islands. Over 14,000 islands. Who invented the modern credit card? Frank McNamara, Ralph Schneider, John Biggins, Frank McNamara. What is Madonna's real name? Madonna Louise Fortin, Madonna Louise Ciccone, Maria Louise Ciccone, Madonna Louise Ciccone. What percentage of their genes do humans share with bananas? Around 60%, around 40%, around 70%, around 60%. What planet has the largest volcano in the solar system? Venus, Earth, Mars, Mars. How many words are in the U.S. Constitution? 4,543, 3,200, 5,800, 4,543. What is the shortest complete sentence in English? Go, okay, yes, go. How do flamingos eat? By turning their heads upside down? By scooping with throat pouches? By diving underwater? By turning their heads upside down. How many seasons does Mercury experience? None. 1, 2, none. What tree/plant produces 2 different seasonings? Cardamom, nutmeg, coriander, nutmeg, and it's mace. How much did the first laptop weigh? 50 pounds, about 15 pounds, about 24 pounds, about 24 pounds. How many times has the Scream painting been stolen? 3, 1, 2, 2. What type of baskets were used when basketball was invented? Laundry baskets, peach baskets, apple baskets, peach baskets. By what year was Beethoven completely deaf? By 1809, by 1811, by 1815, by 1815. How much did the dog Toto earn per week during the filming of The Wizard of Oz? $150, $170, $125, $125. What did ancient Greeks use as napkins? Cloth strips, bread, olive leaves, bread. Which of her characters did Agatha Christie hate? Inspector Japp, Hercule Poirot, Miss Marple, Hercule Poirot. How many genes does rice have? 30,000 to 50,000, 65,000 to 100,000, 18,000 to 20,000, 30,000 to 50,000. What is the point called where you can stand in 3 countries at once? Tri-border point, triple junction point, tri-point, tri-point. What lake is ring-shaped due to an asteroid impact? Lake Bosumtwi, Crater Lake, Lake Manicouagan, Lake Manicouagan. How many islands does Greece have? About 600, about 6,000, about 20,000, about 6,000. Animals use Earth's magnetic field as a what? Compass, weather predictor, mating signal detector, compass. What were Cinderella's shoes originally made of? Silver, crystal, fur, fur. Where did the Jurassic Park raptor sounds come from? Scratched records, computer recording, animal sounds, animal sounds. How much did Michael Jackson's Thriller video cost to make? $750,000, $300,000, $500,000, $500,000. What high school basketball team was Michael Jordan cut from? He wasn't. Emsley A. Laney High School, New Hanover High School. He wasn't. Salvador Dali arrived at a London lecture wearing what? Full medieval armor, a diving suit, a lobster costume, a diving suit. The Java programming language is named after what? James Gosling's nickname? An acronym? Java Coffee? Java Coffee. How many ingredients does Spam contain? 8, 4, 6, 6. What type of game was The Sims originally supposed to be? Architecture game, city planning simulator, interior decorating game, architecture game. How many days did it take to create Minecraft? 6, 10, 16, 6. What is the only English word with 3 consecutive double letters? Committee, bookkeeper, beekeeper, bookkeeper. What 2 countries do not have Coca-Cola? Myanmar and Cuba, Cuba and North Korea, Iran and Syria, Cuba and North Korea. How long will the footprints on the moon last? 100,000 years? Millions of years? Hundreds of years? Millions of years. Where does the Tetris theme song come from? Classical Russian ballet, Russian folk song, Soviet military march, Russian folk song. What is the highest grossing R-rated movie of all time? Deadpool, Joker, Deadpool and Wolverine, Deadpool and Wolverine. The average American worker spends how much on coffee per year? $1,100 to $1,200, $2,100 to $3,200, $700 to $800. $1,100 to $1,200. The video game Counter-Strike originally started as what? A mod for another game? Unreal Tournament modification? An original game? A mod for another game. Last question. What is nomophobia? Fear of not being able to use your phone? Fear of unfamiliar places? Fear of not having internet access? Fear of not being able to use your phone. No more phone.
Thanks for playing along with Quiz Time. I hope you had a blast and maybe even jogged a few fun memories. If you enjoyed this quiz, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Make sure to click the bell so you'll be the first to know when a new quiz drops. Share your score in the comments below, and we'll see you next time for some more fun trivia.